Hey, hello everybody. It is Friday, January 12th, 2024. It's roughly 10:20 in the morning when I'm filming this. Yeah, we're kind of getting hammered with snow on and off here in the Midwest. And yeah, I kind of did a little bit of a wipeout this morning when I was taking the garbage out. So, yeah, having to keep ice on an ankle. It's like, you go out even wearing snow boots and your ice grippers, hidden, it's a nasty snow, so be careful walking or carrying anything. You could end up twisting and being down for the count, but it's nothing new. I've done this before, so it's went and had it checked out and everything, and it's sprained, so hey, who doesn't get at least one sprained ankle in the winter? So they just said, hey, keep the ice on it. You've got the splint. You know what you're doing. So, yeah, here I go again. Yeah, everybody remember, hey, yeah, I am a clairvoyant, clairaudient, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. I was up very, very early this morning. I'm talking like, when I looked at the clock, it was like 3:45. And I know when I wake up, it's like I'm up. It's no work. It's no use trying to go back to sleep at that hour. So I was able to get all my notes done well before I went and took the garbage out around 7:30, and that's when I twisted my ankle. And yeah, my neighbor is in the medical field, and we just went down the street to the corner half-ass backwards ER, freestanding ER, and I said, just x-ray it, make sure nothing's broken. As long as it's just a sprain, fine. If it's broken, I'm going to the real hospital that I go to. But because of the snowy weather, we just went to the place a block away. And even though it's a different medical group, and the one person, well, you're kind of snotty about this. I go, we're here because of the road conditions. If it wasn't nasty on the roads, we'd be at the other place. And I go, and I already know that you have a reputation of having your servers poached. So that shut up the receptionists real quick. And plus the fact they go, well, we don't even know if we take your insurance. I go, federal law, you gotta take Medicare, so shut up. So speaking of federal stuff, yeah, I guess Donald the other night, he did mention that he has selected somebody for his VP. Remember, everything entertainment purposes only. And if anybody's been watching the stupid debates, they know that No Brain Haley. Yeah, we've got No Brain Haley. We've got Ronnie the Dope. Ronnie the Stupid. And good old-fashioned Swampy. Now, rumors are floating around that it's Donald's looking at like Doug from the Dakotas, from North Dakota, or Christy from South Dakota. It could be Ben Carson. And who was the other one? There was one more. Rand Paul. So those are your 4 top runners. I keep getting, every time I've mentioned something, I'm always getting Dakota governor. Dakota governor. So I'm like, Doug has had his hat in the ring. Then all of a sudden, after a couple debates, he graciously backed out. And now they're saying Christy from South Dakota. So my spidey sense is saying it's going to be a Dakota person. Now, another thing that's coming to fruition, it's like you've been hearing me go on for the past couple of weeks, that Jihad Joe and machete practice. Well, I guess last night, I caught it on the news real early, and then I did find the news article, and I did put it on my community page about the guy in Austin, Texas, being used for machete practice. And then one of the other gals, who's a subscriber, mentioned that something happened up in Canada, very similar. So it's starting. It is starting. And yeah, and then I admit, it's anyone who's planning on watching Sean Atwood's channel, when he has this pre-recorded video up there about ghosts and stuff. And these people are like, from the trailer, it's like, whatever. But hey, I did put it on. I did leave a comment. Hey, I'm one of the first ghost hunters. My stuff can be found on old European, Asian, American television stuff. My stuff is from the late 1970s through the 1980s. So I'm like one of the first that was on TV. So these other idiots, whatever. Now we've got the stuff right now. I guess the court battle has already kicked off, and everybody's tossing barbs at each other pertaining to South Africa taking Israel to international court, because according to South Africa, Israel is the bad person, the bad country going after Gaza and is trying for genocide, which is, I think, kind of ironic, because what country just purchased a bunch of fighter jets? And I've heard that they've also called in training personnel to fly over. Yeah, Saudi Arabia has just increased the number of jets for their Air Force. And remember, the U.S. has a couple really big bases in Saudi. It's not Israel that's going to Dresden, Gaza. Saudis are sick and tired of what's coming out of Tehran. Yeah. Saudi government is going to basically Dresden, probably the entire country of Yemen, Gaza, and Iran. Because remember, all the little occult groups, Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Taliban, Muslim Brotherhood, they all get their marching orders from the boys in Tehran. I mean, they've got the Tehran tentacles are everywhere. They're spreading. I mean, it's like, just look at what they're having the Yemenite Houthis do. I mean, the Houthis literally are, any ship that is traveling northbound, they consider, oh, they're going to Israel. No, they're going north in the Red Sea to the Suez Canal, and then there's a multitude of destinations once they get through the Suez Canal. But the Houthis, just because they're going north, they're considering it fair game. Well, stupid Talib, rat-faced Rashid, is saying, doesn't even understand the U.S. Constitution or our Bill of Rights. She's saying, oh, Biden has to get permission first. The military has to get permission first from Congress to do anything. I'm like, no. Our U.S. military and the real powers that be have to notify Congress within 48 hours. Yeah, I have a nickname for her. Terrorist Talib. Just like Dumbo Delia. Communist castaway. Yeah. So, little TT is having fits. So I'm wondering, okay, so how big is her monthly paycheck or weekly paycheck out of Tehran? Yeah. Yeah, the one who's quiet, who I haven't seen anyone, I haven't heard her going batshit crazy yet, is that idiot Omar. You know, the one from Minnesota? Yeah. I mean, the UK and the Brits and the Americans, okay, even are joining forces, getting their navies ready, and same with India. They're getting their ships ready to start doing some nasty stuff to the Houthi-run Yemenite country. I mean, that country just needs to be carpet bombed. Dresden, totally. And the heck with the collateral damage, because the collateral damage, they've been taught since infanthood. It's been drowned into their brains to die for Allah. It makes them basically a saint. It's an honor to be a martyr for Allah. Yeah. So it's getting crazy. These stupid people are saying what will have to be done is barbaric, but no, it's like the Shiite, the Hamas and Hezbollah are the real barbaric assholes. And yeah, it's like I said, the people are getting people are starting to use Americans and Canadians for machete practice. So I wonder how many Yemenite Houthis have crossed the southern border. We know a bunch of black Muslims from North Africa are in the country. So yeah, we've got to start counting numbers. Now, something that I'm going through my notes as I took them down. Now, I guess the new thing that happened in Ohio. I guess they were going after this woman. Allegedly, the charges against her were abuse of a corpse. Well, to take it back a notch, what happened is a woman was pregnant, and she started having the early symptoms of a natural abortion. Yes, miscarriage is actually known as an abortion. Okay? A natural expulsion of a fetus is called an abortion. So I guess she ended up going initially to a Catholic hospital. Well, a Catholic hospital will not assist a woman whose body is expelling a fetus. Well, I guess she was treated like shit by the Catholic hospital, so she just went home. And like in most instances, if a woman knows she's expelling a fetus, she's going to sit on the toilet. Well, they did take what they could out and put it into a bucket. Well, some smart-ass, idiotic prosecutor decided to charge her with, and of course the guy's a Bible thumper, he's a Catholic, Roman Catholic. Anything to persecute and destroy a woman's life, the Roman Catholic Church is going to do that. Yeah, he tried prosecuting her for desecration, abuse of a corpse, because they actually took the toilet out of her house to find genetic material. And they said, oh, she actually killed a live human being. I guess it stated she was like 22 weeks or 21 weeks and 5 days, something crazy like that. Okay, if you're such a good Catholic, go back and reread Genesis. Yeah, chapter 2, verse 7. It states that life begins at first independent breath. And basically, if a fetus is expelled from the body before full term, if it can't make it 72 hours without major medical intervention, it wasn't supposed to be. Do you know how handicapped, to put people's minds at ease, that kid's going to cost millions of dollars, and the quality of life is probably going to be shit. Okay? So basically, it's male Catholics who want to dominate, and they're the most misogynistic. I mean, male Catholics and male Muslims, they're neck and neck for misogyny against women. Yes. Bible's been rewritten so many times, always in favor of the guys, and to put more, and to degrade women. Yes. Start doing your homework, folks. It's ironic. Those who are the biggest bagashers, the biggest homophobes, use the King James Version, and that was rewritten by the Templars to satisfy the whim of a gay king. So, kind of ironic on that one. I know. Something we got to keep an eye out in the Pacific Theater. It's election time for Taiwan. Big Red Sea. They will be interfering. They want to, because they want it reunification. Yeah, Taiwan is the free China. Mainland China, Communist Central. Now, we've got Ronnie Dumbo, Ronnie Just Stupid, going on and on now, because we know it's Iowa caucus day and the weather's shit, so let's see what happens. He's, instead of talking about the southern border and the people coming in, Ronnie just Stupid is not talking about it, because he knows he's got illegal wetbacks coming up on the Florida beaches, but there's a news blackout on that. But what he's focusing on is this diversity, equity, inclusion crap in the schools. And he says, we have to change the colleges because they're the ones. I go, no. This diversity, equity, inclusion crap is starting in pre-K, and he's too stupid to realize that. Yeah, a kid gets a participation trophy for T-ball just because he shows up. That's where it starts, pre-kindergarten. Or going to a daycare. Everybody's friends. We don't touch our friends like that. Yeah, I helped out a friend who had a daycare. I saw what really goes on. Yeah. Be careful. Start your own neighborhood watch group play group with kids. Make sure the mothers all think the same way. Because the brainwashing of the kids, the lack of education of the children, starts when they're about 4 years old. And it's ironic that even, a representative from the UK, a guy from King's College in London, is now saying that Hamas is actually a bunch of freedom fighters. That's what's being taught in the UK colleges. Freedom fighters? Take a look at what's going on in Ethiopia right now. All hell is breaking loose. And it's basically, it's pretty tribal there. So it's basically, it's going to be, who's going to win? The Christians or the Muslims? That's the big thing. And, yeah, I mean, we've got to start watching shit. I mean, it's been released that the Pentagon has admitted that they've lost track of stuff. Stuff is missing. And stuff that was sent to the Ukraine, they don't know where in hell it's at. So they need to start auditing the Pentagon. Okay, all the money that's allegedly went to the Ukraine, the Z guy needs to provide a forensic auditing of the cash flow and of the military supplies. So we've got to push for that. And unless Donald gets in, we're not going to know, because now they are talking, they're really, really pushing Mikey O'Beanbrain to run, because they are feeling that, okay, JoJo's not going to make it, so they got to put somebody in. And they're saying, oh, because we know Barry wants his 4th term. So to put his partner in with, can you imagine Mikey O'Beanbrain with Cammy Poop? They'll run, oh, 2 black women to save America. Well, one's a guy in drag. The other one, most of the blacks don't even consider her black. Dumb and Dumber. And of course, they're gonna basically they're gonna try to put Gruesome Newsom in one way or another. Look at how California is. People are escaping in droves. People, just do the math yourself. Do I have to teach you how to add 1 and 1 equals 2? Now, something that we've got to be careful for, and a website that I did check out, it's the EU Observer. .com. And pretty soon, let's put it this way, it was released today, the article by Andrew Rutman. It was written on the 9th. And it talks about how the members of the European Parliament are going to do whatever they can in order to make sure that Viktor Orban's turn as president is a complete fuck-up. Beep! I'm not monetized, so I can say what I want to say when I want to say it. Yeah, they want to take, they want to really look for the article. The website again is www.EUOBSERVER.com. Again, the website is www.EUOBSERVER.com. They've got some good info, especially on what Europe wants to do, which is ironic because last night I was on the phone with one of the other creators, and we had a really good chat, and we were talking about what's going on, and I said, yeah, we're talking about how things are happening, and about how 100 years ago, the Nazi started in Germany, and it spread throughout, and Adolf spread it throughout Europe. Well, then the EU kicked off in Germany and spread throughout Europe, and now people are getting fed up with the EU bullshit. I mean, that's why they're going to try and do so much shit to Victor. When he gets to be president, they're going to try and sabotage him 8 ways to Sunday. Well, now people, it's not getting that much coverage here in the States, but it's happening in Europe, and a lot of people are standing behind it. But the instigators now are the German farmers. And they're spreading this protest Europe-wide because the farmers are going up and creating the protest against all these stupid climate change, see you next Tuesdays, because of the price of diesel and the fuel. And of course, they want to starve out Europe. So it's getting pretty nasty because it's like Australia is now involved with it, France, Hungary, Poland is coming into it. And of course, we know that the Ukraine guys were always the nastiest of the nasties of Hitler's army. That's why Barry, who hates America and hates real, true republics and democracies, that's why Barry sent all our military supplies to the Z guy, which I think the Z guy sent him down to Tehran. I mean, the stuff they left in Afghanistan wasn't enough. But yeah, the other creator and I, we had a really good chat, and it's like, yeah, Germany, the EU got out of control, and now a new batch of German politicians are now using the farmers and stuff to take control, to get Europe back under their control. Yeah, so it's kind of ironic. That's why you need to go look at that article on that website, EU Observer. Now, we've got some crazy ass stuff that's hitting the fan, and I have gotten a few questions about stuff. Now, remember good fat ass Oprah? I remember it was back in the 80s when she came out on stage, when she had the Oprah Winfrey Show at Harpo Studios, and she came out wearing a pair of jeans, pulling a little red wagon with tons of fat on it. She goes, "This is how much weight I've lost. This is how much fat." Oprah has always been touting the latest way to drop fat, to get skinny. Well, now I guess, what is it? She's taking that diabetic medicine that she shouldn't. Well, maybe she'll fall down and go boom pretty quick because of how much damage she's done to her body. And of course, she's probably gotten at least 2 or 3 jabberdoos. Of course. But now it's like, I think she may try to pre-plan her own phony funeral, because it's now coming out that her jet was on the Miami Guy's Island on a regular basis. And we know that things are blowing up in her face because she tried to latch onto Rachel and Henry. And she thought she was going to score interviews with Rachel's in-laws, but she sided on the wrong side. I mean, a lot of celebrities have really distanced themselves from the dastardly duo. And someone asked me, they go, "Well, why is Scientology?" There's something about Scientology. Scientology, David Miscavige is a starstruck little short shit. He wants as many celebrities idolizing him as possible. Scientology is basically mind control, and they use blackmail, and they suck people dry. Go watch Lisa Remini. She's got a really good show that's on the streaming channels, and she explains a lot. Plus, there's a couple other channels here on YouTube. I think one is Growing Up Scientology, and it explains the nastiness of L. Ron Hubbard and David Miscavige. I mean, yeah, it's like they believe that a giant spaceship is going to come down and rescue them. Hey, the planet already has people from other solar systems walking around. And there have been planetary interbreeding since forever. Yeah. So it's like, that's why some people have really whacked blood types. And they can't figure out why some people have an RH factor of a negative and there's an RH positive, and why certain people have certain genetic issues and genetic immune are totally immune to certain things. Well, maybe because it's their ancient bloodline that could possibly have come from another planet. But to get back to stuff, yeah, it's when I was chatting with the other creator last night, we were trying to figure out, okay, what's going to drop? Because we know Lady C says stuff. Well, I talked to my friends in the film biz, and one of them kind of said something because they were working on something somewhere, and they had the opportunity to speak to somebody who could be called a horse's mouth. And they said something big is going to drop come springtime. So that horse's mouth said it would be information would be released in the spring, and we're all been informed that I guess Lady C has another book coming out in the spring. And this other creator and I, we kind of discussed what our personal feelings are, and I'm not going to relate it yet, but I did catch some stuff on that on the other bot channels. The bot channels released bits and pieces. Now, one of them made a comment, and at a certain point in the video, they slipped up and they referred to the alleged offspring of Henry and Rachel. They used the term daughters, plural, like two girls, not a girl and a boy. Maybe that's why no one sees them, because they have two girls instead of a boy and a girl. Then another one of these bot channels is saying that there's a recorded phone call between Henry and KC3 that allegedly took place on KC3's birthday. Gee, other recorded calls made it into the tabloid papers. Remember? Squidgygate? Camillagate? Why aren't we having Henrygate? That'd sell a lot of papers. And then we get this other guy who gets all these other creators together on a panel talking. Two of them. I mean, one of them kind of like was kind of like trying to, she was trying to, it's like I was being polite to her. But yeah, that chick down in Texas, definitely. I keep getting the feeling that she's on the payroll of a certain foundation that's based in Delaware but run by the dastardly duo in California. Because she's basically, if you listen to her, she's kind of like friendly towards them. And then the other one that claims to be in Canada but actually is in Central America, who basically had a big custody battle. She claims to be a diplomat. And now both of these creators, the Texas fool, Texas idiot, and the Nicaragua chickie poo, both of them said, oh, well, we called WME and Rachel wasn't even there. Well, that just proves how stupid both of them are. Because all agencies, if you call them, and you're not representing a production company, they don't say yes or no if we've got them on the roster. A friend of mine who owns his own production company, who has multiple screen credits, and I'm not talking no budget college indie films. I mean, these guys have credits that you're actually watching their shit on the big dollar amount streaming channels. You've seen their stuff in the movie theaters. Those guys, because they are members of the DGA and Producers Guild in good standing, can call up and say, hey, Ari, is so-and-so available? And they get connected right away. Or if they have their assistant say, call up William Morris Endeavor, they say, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm working for yada-da production company. We've got this in green light, and we need to know the availability of actors X, Y, and Z. What they'll do then is they want to know who your casting agent is, your casting director. That's if you're a registered casting director or real director or with a PGA, that's when the agencies admit to having certain people under the contract being representing them. They're not going to say boo to some idiot who's calling up claiming to be a journalist. And that's how stupid some of these YouTube creators are. Yeah, so stupid. I mean, the other thing that we saw about Rachel, I mean, the other stupid thing that's happening is like, oh, the living legends of aviation. Look at their website. I went through it and I started looking at names. And let's put it this way. I'm acquainted with the kids of a couple of the guys that were given Living Legend Awards. I called them up. I sent a message through to get a hold of those kids. And the info I got back was that, well, for one of them, two guys that are actors slash directors slash producers paid that group a certain dollar amount for one guy to be given a plaque, an award plaque. The Living Legends of Aviation, if you read their website carefully, it's a group that gives out awards to actors who have gotten their pilot's license, or people who are pilots, have their pilot's license for some sort of aircraft, who've gone to work in the film industry. And basically, it's an award for the film, TV industry personnel for basically showing off their skills as a pilot on film. That's all it is. And the group, yeah, you basically pay to get somebody to get an award. And I did hear the dollar amount of what two guys paid to give this other guy his award. They did tell me a dollar amount. And I just laughed. So I'm wondering, how much money out of that stupid Delaware Foundation went into the pockets of these guys? Yeah, and they do have, yeah, John Travolta really, he doesn't have too much. All he does is he's a host. He's the grand toastmaster. He's the MC of the event. Because John has his own jets. And he's always made it known that he loves to fly. If he couldn't be an actor, he probably would have been working for like United Airlines or TWA back in the day. And I do know that some of the guys from one of those airlines did some side teaching for John. He got some coaching on how to handle his 707 from one of the guys that worked for a major international carrier. And he also reaches out to the guys who have retired out from the major carriers to help him with the maintenance of his 707. Yeah. Hey, I know stuff, but I can't say names until they give me the okay to say the names. But yeah, I reached out to, I know who helps John with maintenance, and he said it's a pay to play scheme. That's all it is. You want an award? The more money you pay out, the bigger the award you get. And I got that info from someone who definitely is not going to pull my leg. So, yeah. So, yeah, and it's going to be interesting. We've got some stuff popping up, and yeah, well, let's put it this way. My ankle's starting to hurt. I've been sitting, and it's like my foot's on the floor. So, time for me to go back on the couch with the ice pack on my ankle. So, I'll be seeing, yeah, today's Friday, so I will be doing my live on the 14th, Sunday the 14th at 1 p.m. And so that will be for like an hour or so, and let's see who else is going up live on Sunday. Maybe we can do a piggyback where you do my video at 1 and then we jump to somebody else after 2 o'clock. We'll see if we can coordinate our schedules that way. So have a great Friday evening. Have fun tomorrow, Saturday. Sleep late if you can, or get geared up if you're out here in the Midwest. Don't try to shovel everything at once. This is the heavy, wet snow. It's perfect packing for a snowball fight. Yeah, go out and do a little bit at a time, because too many people have gotten the whatchamacallit. And the last thing we need is ambulances up and down the streets picking up bodies off of driveways. So, Shabbat Shalom. See you on Sunday.